And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is a TGIF version, and boy, I'm glad it's Friday too, with the weekend coming up here too. And don't forget the debut shows coming up this weekend on our good friends out there, WSM Radio, home of the Grand Ole Opry, this Sunday morning from 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. You can hear the Backstage Pass powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Our first guest, he was on with us a couple of days ago. Look forward to tune in. Terry McBride. McBride in the ride too, getting back together too. So appreciate Terry leading us off there too. And of course, next week, Caleb Lee Hutchinson on the show. And we got a whole host of good things coming up next week with Robert Earl Keene coming by and T. Graham Brown and a whole host of others coming by here on the Backstage Pass. Of course, you can still catch us out there, KKTC True Country 99.9 and our friends at HighTideCountry.net. And with this being a TGIF version, good to welcome back a good show friend of mine and, of course, a new friend to the brand here too. We saw him at CRS this past year, Will Wesley and Florian Fox. Guys, how you doing?
Doing good, my friend. It's good to be on the show, and it's good to catch up with a good friend. How you been, man?
Some big things happening. And last time I could say WSM Radio was pretty cool, Will. That's the newest thing coming to the brand.
Oh, man, I'm so happy for you guys, and I'm glad to see y'all growing every day.
It's been a whirlwind, no doubt, too. And like I said, we're soon to be probably a studio on wheels coming up there, too, as well. So that's going to be another announcement for another day. Yeah, the Backstage Pass mobile studios coming to Nashville, Tennessee. More on that to be determined coming up later. But, hey, when you see us there next year, you just might see the Backstage Pass in a 38-foot Allegro Bay. Don't be surprised if you do coming up in 2025 there, too. Hey, you guys came together for a special occurrence, for a special song. And like I said, we put out a photo out there to promote the show coming up today. But talk about, Will, we know your story. Florian, I know you've been doing this thing called country music for a long time. No stranger to Texas and my roots down here. Talk about coming together and just putting out a terrific song.
Oh, Brendan, that's Will and I, we've been working together for about 3 years now. And that dates back to the days of the pandemic where you couldn't play a lot of live shows. I was able to play an award show down in Jefferson, Texas, and I met an agent down there. I asked her whether she could put me in contact with somebody who would want to tour in Texas to play a couple of shows as soon as venues would open up. And so she called me a couple of weeks later and said, I have somebody who might want to have you as an opening act. And this guy was Will Wesley. And so this is what it all got started. And we've written so many songs since, and we're putting out our second single this July. So very excited about this, and we're already on our third combined U.S. and Europe tour.
That's right.
Good times coming.
Yeah, this industry keeps getting better and better. We were just there a couple of weeks ago. Will, I know you saw it with the Keith Whitley Memorial Show that we did right there on Lori Morgan's tour bus. And it was amazing to, still kind of keep a track of what your big box office stars like Daryl Worley and Craig Campbell and Anita Cochran, still kind of hanging around, making music, doing their thing. And really, they don't have to. It's just a love of country music, too, because they've already, made the landscape for their careers. But what I like about it, too, is also interesting to learn even more about these younger artists impacting Nashville, such as yourself and you guys there, too, making music, because it's just crazy how much talent is in that city now.
Oh, it's the talent. It just never ends, man. It's getting younger and younger by the day.
As are we, my friend.
So are we. I just turned 18 June 9th.
There you go.
We're the only 18-year-old in Nashville who can grow a beard, I guess.
That's right. This is country music.
This is country music, my friend.
It sure is. Well, I know, Will, you had put out one that I saw, which was Honky Tonk USA, which I believe that came out in early part of May of this year, if I'm not mistaken, May 10th or somewhere in there. Remember that one, and I think you had touched on that, talking about that at CRS back in February and March, that was going to impact it in May. So let's pick apart that single and how it's done for you so far.
The single has been doing really well. And where it's been doing well, Brandon, is with people who want to preserve real country music, people who they want to see the classic artists remembered and acknowledged. We've been very, very happy with the success of the single. People are streaming it, they're playing it, they're getting into it, and they're liking the music video too. They think that music video is pretty funny, and I couldn't be happier at the success of it. And I love people like yourself getting this music out to the people, because it's really, we help each other in that. And to see the people's reaction to that it's something that's very close to my heart.
It really is too. Tell us a little bit, Florian, about your background as far as musical influences and how you got into this thing too, because my first time having you, which is a treat here on the program, and I like to get to know my first time guests, just as guests like Will that have come back for so many different appearances out there too. Tell us a little bit about you and kind of when that music bug kind of bit.
Well, it's a pleasure being here with you, Brendan, on the Backstage Pass. It is, as you say, my very first time. I'm very excited about this. And I think it's great that there are formats like the Backstage Pass to really bring the real country music out of the folks. My background, I come from a very small country in Europe called Switzerland. You may know the Swiss cheese, of course, right? That's where the Swiss cheese comes from. But we also have a big love for country music. There's a large scene over there. We got a lot of large festivals. So actually, speaking of family history, my dad lived in the U.S. for a very long time, and he brought back all the records, Johnny Cash, Joan Baez, Bob Dylan, all the classics. He brought them home. And I would listen to these classic records on rainy Saturday afternoons. And the bug really bit when I did a trip with my parents through the Midwest when I was 15 years old. I listened to a couple of the songs from the movie Walk the Line, the biopic about Johnny Cash. The bug bit, and that's the kind of music I've been doing ever since.
You had one that I got to check out a few songs, and I believe this came out, see how good my memory is. This was June of 2022. Could be, like I said, mistaken there by a day or two. Made in USA was one of your records. I believe you put that out, and I loved that song that everybody knows worldwide. I love you mentioned traditional country music, but Georgia has been so synonymous with all the artists that have passed it down, who have done that for different genres of music to the country versions. Talk about your Made in USA record, Florian, and about leading it off with such a legendary song like Georgia.
It's good that we touch base on that record because that's really the record that defines Florian Fox as an artist. What came before this record was really a personal journey. It was a musical journey. It was just a development on many fronts that I made through as a human being, as a person. And these are the stories. I always say that's the legacy. This album is the legacy of my youth. It's got all the songs on there have at least a grain of truth because that's the famous three chords.
Three chords in the truth.
Country music fans, they're smart people. They know if you're not telling the truth, if you're telling a story you haven't lived through yourself, they're not going to believe you. They're not going to come out to your show. So Georgia is sort of it's got two sides, right? It's got one component is the state itself. Of course, Georgia is the place. It's also a place where I met a specific girl that didn't quite treat me right.
Oh.
And so I called her Georgia in the song. So the first line is, I'm going to Georgia. I'm going to give her my soul. So it's sort of like both. I'm, the state and the girl. So that's where I lost my heart. And I had to recover from that and find my heart again. That's what the song is about.
Tells a true story, just like any good country song should do out there too. And that's the authenticity I see from it and the storytelling aspect that a lot of artists, talk about here on the program. Well, I know you guys have a couple of performances for us today. At least I know one for sure we can talk about there. And of course, the single you guys have collaborated on too, and definitely looking forward to hearing some of the good music right now. So I'll turn it over to you.
Well, I think we'll do our upcoming single dropping July 26th. Time's catching up to me. What do you say, Hoss?
I think it's time for that.
All right, it goes like this.
I used to stay drunk all the time, drinking straight bourbon, whiskey, and wine. But lately I find I'm not the man I used to be. 'Cause when the room starts spinning around, what goes up is gonna come back down. Then I've been playing the fool time after time. What do you say about it, Fox? I used to run around town wasting money on the girls I dated. I didn't have a care, I had the world in my face. Oh, when the money started running low, all my plans went up in smoke. Because somebody gives a damn about the well till it's running dry.
That's the truth.
Yeah. Well, I'm always moving, but I feel like I'm standing still. Another mountain to climb and one float over the hill. And it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, and the truth's getting clear to see. I'm just another year older in time. times catching up to me.
Whoa!
I still remember those red dirt good old days.
Playing the bars.
Sleeping every day. Well, I don't know if it was right or wrong.
We were young, hearted, and strong.
Living like the lyrics on an outlaw country song. It is as easy as 1, 2, 3, and the truth's getting clear to see. I'm just another year older and time's catching up to me. All right. Well, I'm always moving, but I feel like I'm standing still. And then the mountain climbing, 1 foot over the hill. And it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, and the truth's getting clear to see.
I'm just another year older and times catching up.
Yeah, another year older and time's catching up. Just another year older and time's catching up to me. Yeah.
All right.
Just another year older, Fox.
Here we go.
Another year older. That's it too. And you know what? I feel that now too with the gray hairs too, Will.
Oh,
And, time's catching up with me, too.
Here too.
Well, I know, like I said, our lost loved ones too. They used to say that too back in the day. And we're like, nah, we don't believe you. But now that like, the gray's coming in, Will, I'm like, you know what? That old man was right. He could tell us a lot of things about life and the lessons he learned too, and wisdom and all that good stuff. He goes, oh, the gray hair is just wisdom. That's all it is. So,
Oh yeah.
excited about that new single coming out. I believe you said that's July 22nd. Is that correct? Or 26th? 26th. I knew it was one of the
Yes, sir.
Fridays coming up there close to it. Time's catching up with me. Look on the lookout for it. Will Wesley and Florian Fox. July the 26th. We're going to take a time out here, of course, coming up here this Sunday, our debut show, the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. Going to WSM Radio, the home of the Grand Ole Opry. Tune in this Sunday morning from 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Wake up, drink some coffee, go to church, worship the Lord, or whatever religion you practice out there, too, and wake up with Terry McBride of McBride and the Ride, our guest this Sunday morning, too. And, of course, next week, which will be the 21st, we'll have a former American Idol gentleman out there, too, Caleb Lee Hutchinson and his new album. We talked a lot about it yesterday, Southern Galactic. If it's an album you want to hear about country music, it's unlike anything you've heard before. It was produced by one of his good friends, and we'll have more on that coming up there. WSM Radio this Sunday from 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Wake up with us. We appreciate that, too. WSM Radio, the home of the Grand Ole Opry. Take a time out for our sponsors coming back here. It is the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com, and out there, too, on KKTC True Country 99.9. And our friends at HighTideCountry.net. Back in a flash. Stay tuned. And, of course, back here on the Backstage Pass, quick time out here for our friend over there, too, and one of our most competitive guys in the business, too, man. He hustled in Nashville a few weeks ago there at CMA Fest 2024. And, of course, moving forward, I've loved the relationship with this gentleman out there, too. He's one of the hardest working guys in the business out there here and partnering with us on the Backstage Pass, the CadenGordonShow.com. Today's best country mix. Caden, tell us all about this, man, because you've got a great show out there, too.
Oh, I'd be happy to. Thank you so much for allowing me to partner with you. And the Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. We started about 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's when you started the Backstage Pass, was about 5 years ago. So that's kind of funny how we have that resemblance. But we started out back in 2019. I've been doing this for the last 4 years. We're on over 150 stations all over the world, in the U.S., UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, South Africa, all over the place, including KKTC 99.9 True Country and many other stations. I also run my own media and promotions company, KJG Media and Promotions. We do radio distribution, all that kind of stuff as well. We've had some big guests on. Recently, we just had the Sarah Evans on the show, so we're super excited to have her and had that interview be done. We've also had Parmalee and Rain Johnson and so many big stars as well come on my show. We've done a little over, I think we're at almost 2,500 interviews I've done in the last 4 years. It's crazy.
busy, yeah.
Yes, I have been. But the best way to find what I'm up to is you could look me up on social media, either under Caden Gordon or the Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. And you can go to my website, which is thecadengordonshow.com. That's KAYDENGORDON show.com.
Well, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate the loyalty. Love the partnership here on the Backstage Pass. Had a lot of fun. Accomplished a lot at CMA Fest 2024, and appreciate you always being loyal to us. And again, man, just can't wait to take everything into the next stratosphere out there too with you. And always enjoy having you here on the Backstage Pass. And you'll be hearing from Caden a lot here as we get forward to the next 6 months of 2024. Appreciate you being with us, partner.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You got it. That is Caden Gordon from the CadenGordonShow.com. Today's best country mix and more of the Backstage Pass coming up here too, with more great guests and more great interviews. Stay tuned for a lot more. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show, appreciate all the work that our sponsors do. Without you guys, it would not be a radio show out there, soon to be on wheels out there too. The Backstage Pass, again, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com, and out there too, again, making the debut this Sunday on WSM Radio. Coming up this Sunday morning, the home of the Grand Ole Opry too. You can listen multiple ways out there, WSMRadio.com. Download the app, of course, on iHeartRadio out there too, and multiple ways, 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. We'll be there, our first guest, Terry McBride, and The Ride, and of course out there, KKTC, True Country, 99.9, 7 nights a week in prime time, and our friends at HighTideCountry.net. Back here with Will Wesley and Florian Fox. There's another one off there, Florian, I love from the record. You were talking about this, and I love the title of it just because it fit everything about you. Swiss Guy. Let's dive into that one.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Brendan, that's sort of the story, of me moving to the U.S. amidst COVID, despite the closed border and everything. That was a big stream of luck there. And it sort of describes a lot of things that happened to me when I first came to the U.S. as a so-called greenhorn. All the traps I fell into, a lot of things that happened, cars breaking down and connecting flights don't work and all that sorts of thing. So I sat down and said, look, I got to make a song out of this because I'm writing songs both for my European audience as for the American audience. I'm some people say I'm kind of an ambassador of Swiss country and folk music in America, but I'm also an ambassador of American music in Switzerland. So I wrote this song primarily for my Swiss audience, to sort of show them what happens if a Swiss guy moves to America. And here it is. Shall we give it a shot?
I think we should. I think we should play it.
Let's do it. Let's do it right here. Go for it.
When I was flying overseas in a westbound plane, I had a feeling like I finally got the red bag chain. I had a feeling. Even though they shut the border, I got in a special order. I'm a Swiss guy. When I was carrying my bag on the left-hand side, and I was looking for a cab and an inbound ride, it's into Nashville. Well, then the driver hollered, that'll be $50 to a Swiss guy. Yes, I'm a Swiss guy. Yeah, he's a Swiss guy. Yes, I'm a Swiss guy. Yeah, he's a Swiss guy. Hey man, yes, I'm a Swiss guy. Well, I bought me a car and I was changing the plates. A woman asked me, boy, well, are you out so late? And are you stealing? No, are you stealing? Why don't you mind your own business, cause you ain't got nothing in the sign of Swiss guy. Sing. When I was driving to the show, I was Texas bound. When the Cadillac I bought in Tennessee rolled down, my feet were hurting. Oh, my feet were hurting, oh boy. Well, it ain't no fun walking in the hard sun before a Swiss guy. Road cat. Yes, I'm a Swiss guy. Yeah, he's a Swiss guy. Yes, I'm a Swiss guy. Yeah, he's a Swiss guy. Hey man. Yes, I'm a Swiss guy. With a Swiss country guitar, sir.
there may be things that you might believe. I don't yodel and I don't own skis. Forget about that chocolate and the fondue cheese. Well, I neither do you, you're a country masterpiece. Well, I'm knocking on the door for something real. Oh, waiting for my turn to get behind the wheel. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. Well, a couple times I finally left it all behind. The sunny Swiss guy. Oh, the sunny Swiss guy.
Yeah, he's a Swiss guy.
The sunny Swiss guy.
Yeah, he's a Swiss guy.
Hey man, hey man, the sunny Swiss guy. Do it one more time. Hey man, the sunny Swiss guy. Yeah, I'm from Switzerland. You know, it's the country with the mountains and the cheese and the skis and all that kind of stuff. Play some country music too. That's what I came for. I sing and play a little bit of that rock with the guitar. Play some rock with the guitar, brother. Whoa,
Hey.
yeah.
I love it, man. Two of the guys that have fun with their music and love what they do. Florian Fox and Will Wesley here on the Backstage Pass, the little Swiss guy. And of course, the new single, July 26th. Time's catching up to me here on the Backstage Pass. What a great song to end the week on a Friday, too, to have a couple of great songs. And we're not done yet. We'll have one more performance because you guys love to sing out there, too, at the same time. So back here on the show, KKTC True Country 99.9 and our friends at HighTideCountry.net too. We'll take our final timeout. Don't forget the debut show coming up this weekend too. WSM Radio, the home of the Grand Ole Opry, Sunday morning too. The Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com, will be on that very station from 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Get up, drink some coffee, go worship the Lord, get to church, have a good time. I know I'll be up and probably moving around. The kiddo will wake me up at some point. So having all that fun stuff is a good thing. And of course, Terry McBride and the Ride will kick us off this weekend on WSM Radio, the home of the Grand Ole Opry. And, of course, multiple ways to listen, WSMRadio.com via the iHeart app and, of course, out there via the WSM app at 5:30 a.m. Of course, next week, Caleb Lee Hutchinson. And next week, you got to see what we got planned for you. Robert Earl Keene, Kaylee Bell coming by, and a whole lot more coming up here on the Backstage Pass. Quick timeout, more with Will Wesley and Florian Fox. It is the Backstage Pass, again, here on, KKTC True Country 99.9. And our friends at HighTideCountry.net. Stay tuned.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show again, debut show coming up this weekend. WSM Radio, the home of the Grand Ole Opry, Terry McBride and the Ride. And this very show will be on that station out there too, 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Wake up with our first guest. And of course, every Sunday after that too, from the same time slot there. Wake up and listen to it in a multitude of formats there. I can tell you next week, Kaylee Hammock, Robert Earl Keene, T. Graham Brown, and Kaylee Bell are stopping by. That's just 4 of the big shows we have coming up next week there too. And definitely looking forward to, I was telling Will that back in, I think it was February at CRS there at the Omni. I said, one day we're going to have a musical education. I'm going to school for music 101. What better to do that than with the hit songwriter Robert Earl Keene, who's known just nationwide as a legend in the business. So next week on Friday morning, we're going to have a lot of come to Jesus meeting, no doubt. I'll learn a lot more about the music industry too as well. Back here with Will Wesley and Florian Fox. Time's catching up to me. The new single coming out July the 26th out there on all the digital streaming platforms. Well, I know you guys have one more for me because I just love music, and it is a Friday too. And you guys love playing songs. If I know anything about Will, I know Florian kind of mimics off of him too, and really just kind of sits there and says, you know what, I got the same flavor that he's got, the same sound, and they have a lot of fun out there playing songs. So I'm gonna give the floor to you guys, and let's play one more on a Friday. Why not?
Well, Florian, I think we're going to have to do a song that's been very good to us. What do you say?
I think we got just the right one for Brenton and the Backstage Pass.
Wasted again.
Here we go.
Party up in Nashville, Tennessee. Huh?
That's right.
wasted again. Her memories have come around and remind me of things I tried to forget. Someday I'll try to not think of what might have been, but tonight I'm throwing them back, wasted again. Wasted again. God's troubles upon my mind, and no matter how I try, they never end. Tomorrow I'll try to get back on my feet again, but tonight I'm throwing them back, wasted again. Wasted again. Well, I'm drinking my blues away. Wasted again. Save my troubles for another day. Tomorrow I'll try to get back on my feet again, but tonight I'm throwing them back, wasted again. Let's go to the honky tonks. Yeah. All right, wasted again. We're drinking our blues away. Wasted again. Save our troubles for another day. Tomorrow we'll try to get back on our feet again. But tonight I'm throwing them back. Yeah, tonight we're throwing all the way back. Yeah, tonight we're throwing back, wasted again. Wasted again. Don't drink and drive.
That's it.
Oh, Will, if you want to know what went through my mind right there. Speaking of Nashville, Tennessee, and wasted again. Yeah, there's been a few nights wasted again there.
Oh, we've had a few of them ourselves.
Yeah, well, just recently too, when I forgot where I was at the during the event we covered there a couple of weeks ago. But hey, good nights. We're getting in at 1:00 in the morning, and that's what you're having a good time. Is what it's all about there. When you get to that just that great town with so many great musicians, as talented as both of you guys, and just moving a step forward. And I'd say, Will, with this mobile thing now, the studio thing, I think we're going to be having a lot more good times, right? Will, you're coming to the boat.
Man, I'm coming to that studio to play for you personally, man. It's going to be fun.
Well, I know, hey, no more signals right at the Omni. We ain't got to worry about Wi-Fi. We'll have it on the bus, right? I mean, in a hot spot and like a comfortable couch and just food and drinks and entertain all you guys, right? I mean,
that's what I'm talking about. A good time at the Country Radio Seminar. I'm down.
I'm good with that. Florian, you're invited too. You get the memo, pass it along to him. He can come on down with us too at Country Radio Seminar. Hey, let's have a little fun to close it again. Time's catching up to me for both the guys. Comes out July 26th across all the digital streaming platforms. Be on the lookout for that too from Will Wesley and Florian Fox. Don't forget, coming up Monday, Kaylee Bell is going to join us. If you don't know who that is, you're going to find out on Monday too. But under a rock, she's the most streamed country artist in New Zealand and over one of the top artists streamed in Australia too as well. She just put out a brand new record back in May. We'll talk about that with Kaylee, and of course more on WSM Radio coming out next week, including a press release out there too as well for us at the Backstage Pass. All right, Will, I know you told me this. You love Christmas because you put out a song we first met, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, the big hit by Brenda Lee back in the day. But we're getting close. I always say Christmas in July, but I know that song's done real well for you too. Now that's a favorite time of year for you, right?
It is, man. I love Christmas time, and I love to revisit the classics. I've always grew up listening to the classic country tunes, and it was fun to put out that tune. And and always play all the Christmas classics, man.
I love it too. Well, hey, Florian, in your fun time, or I guess what fun time there is, music's a full-time gig or whatever downtime you get. What are some fun things you like to do away from music?
Away from music. Well, of course, as a Swiss guy, I know how to ski. So, Switzerland, we got 8 months of winter. So we move more on skis than on foot.
That's a fun.
I just heard that the boys here in Baton Rouge, they're going to be taking me out for fishing. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a first timer for me. We'll go out fishing and have some fun once we get off the road.
I like that too. Will can show you a thing or two. He knows about Southern boys down here. We know a thing or two about them.
Hey, a country boy can survive.
Can survive, yes. He said it true when he did that. Hank was preaching that boy when he said it, no doubt too. Will, for you, I know it's got to be the outdoors. Like I said, you've told me this before when it comes to fishing and hunting and things like that when you're not doing music, right?
Man, I really am a good old boy at heart. When I'm not picking and singing songs and staying out of trouble, which I oftentimes fail to do, I really like to fish. I like to hunt, man. I like to be outdoors. I love to see beautiful places like Switzerland. That was gorgeous, man. Seeing all the beautiful mountains and all that. And other than that, I like to be on the road and traveling. So that's something I look to do in the coming year as well. Just doing a lot of, even when I'm not touring, being out there and seeing the sights.
That's what I can't wait. And I want to get to one of my buddies actually just went over to Iceland and took some amazing photographs over there, man. It was just miraculous. And some of the scuba diving and the hiking he did and ATV. I mean, it was just, I saw the pictures and man, it was amazing. I can't wait to get to just that area, even Switzerland too. I saw some photos. It's just a beautiful country. So I commend you, Florian, for just the people and the country. And I mean, hey, Swiss cheese. I love that on my burger. Who doesn't when it comes down?
I'll bring you some original Swiss cheese when I come over to Nashville. Let's make sure of that. How's that sound to you, Brendan? I'm
okay with that too, because Will tell you, I love food, man. As much as the next person, I will not turn down a hamburger with Swiss cheese on it or anything. And I'm not a big cheese person, but now you give me Swiss cheese and put it on something, I'm good with that. I need to get a block of it and grate it, Will, just to grate it. And put it on like homemade chili that I make too. Swiss cheese on homemade chili.
There it is. That's what I'll do. I'll bring you a Whopper with Swiss cheese on it next time I see you.
All right. Well, hey, we got a place to heat it up now on the bus, so we got to do that, right?
Just put it on the roof. The bus is black. Just put it on the roof.
Do that too. We'll have taste tests going on outside the door with the sign too at the same time. Let me ask you this. We'll finish up with this one. Will, if you were not a musician, what other career path would you have taken?
Well, if I wasn't a professional musician, I would probably run for president.
Ooh, I can see that. He has that kind of person. And Florian, you do too. So same question, Florian. What else would you be doing? Say it again.
President Will Wesley. I'm going to clean up this town.
You can clean up this town, no doubt. Hey, I'm all about the WW. I could go for that, Will Wesley. I could just do that.
Would I have your vote, right? Would you vote for me?
Hey, we already have B-Dubs, right? Buffalo Wild Wings. So we just need Will Wesley as president.
That's right. Florian Fox, vice president.
Vice president. Okay. I would. Hey, compared to you got my vote there, Florian. What would you be doing if you weren't a working musician?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think I'd be hiking out of the mountains. Leading people on mountains and seeing that they don't fall into some crevices and glaciers and stuff like that. I like to be outside. I love to be outside. So if I weren't doing this on the road, I think I'd be on foot somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, as I always say with Will, one of Will's singles that came out and we touched base to CRS this year, you got to be ready to ride. And that's just one of those things we like to do here on the show. I know he get a giggle out of that too, but I love transitions. I love music, and that's why we continue to do this here on the Backstage Pass. Two of the best out there doing it out there same time. New single comes out July 26th. Time's catching up to me across all the digital streaming platforms. The great Will Wesley and Florian Fox out there. Great to have both you gentlemen. Always great to catch up too. Appreciate the time here on the Backstage Pass. And my friends, I know we're gonna do this again. Will, you're a regular here on the show.
Oh man, I cannot wait to catch up with you again. It's always a pleasure to talk to good friends. And Fox, we're gonna have to come back on this show.
He has to. Yes, he's a good friend of the show now.
That's right.
Hey, thank you so much, Brandon. It's been a pleasure being here, and looking forward to seeing you in your mobile new studio.
Yeah, we're doing some cleanup on it now too. But hey, Will's right. It comes around pretty fast when people say it's February coming up. It is, and we got to be there in town too. But if you see a big Allegro Bay out there, it's got the logo and some stuff on it too with some different things. You'll know it's the Backstage Pass because we'll be hanging around in some I'm sure some parking lot or something down there. But I know the parking regulations, they got to get all that worked out. But hey, I'm gonna you only live once, Will. You got to travel in style, right? That's it. So,
brother, you couldn't have said it no better. I completely agree with you, my friend.
bringing it to CRS 2025, and of course, hey, CMA Fest that week. I got a place to stay, and just give me the parking permit and tell me where I got to park, and I'll set it up. And I got my plugins. I'm good to go. And hey, one of the things I'm looking at is a KOA Campgrounds sponsorship. So if you hear anything, Will, be sure and text me.
Man, I will. I'll pass that word along to you.
Want to get them involved with the travel coach we're going to have out there too. And of course, coming up this weekend, WSM Radio, the big show coming up this Sunday morning from 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Our guest, Terry McBride and the Ride, kicking it off there too, still going strong 30-something years later. We're going to play one of the new songs, Amarillo Sky, in the interview. And of course, Love on the Loose, Heart on the Run, one of those classics from 1993. Terry tells his story like never before. Tune in this Sunday, WSM Radio, the WSM Radio app, the home of the Grand Ole Opry. And, of course, you can check out other shows out there, the sportsguyspodcast.com, and out there, too, at KKTC True Country 99.9 in Ski Town in Taos, New Mexico, and our friends up there at hightidecountry.net in Oklahoma out there, too. Can't forget about those guys who've helped us grow over the last 5 years. We're back on Monday. Kaylee Bell going to join us out there, too, in a big week with Robert Earl Keen and a whole lot more. T. Graham Brown comes by Tuesday morning here on the Backstage Pass, and we'll keep you posted on all the great stuff on WSM with the Backstage Pass powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. We'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Take care. God bless.